Coming up on City Spotlight, it's our first new episode here in 2026, as we have another 2 community episode here in Season 12 of City Spotlight. Our first stop is in Neoga to talk Neoga Schools with Neoga Schools Superintendent Kevin Haarman. Kevin will tell us how the current school year is going in Neoga. And Kevin will give us an update on Neoga Schools facilities after last March's tornado that hit Neoga. Then we head down the road to Teutopolis as we catch up on the latest going on in T-Town with Teutopolis Mayor Dave Repking. Dave will recap 2025 in Teutopolis, the latest on housing, public works, and economic development in T-Town. We start 2026 on City Spotlight, covering the communities of Neoga and Teutopolis, here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight on WEIU-TV is underwritten by the Illinois Arts Council, a state agency. And hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. We are presenting this episode to you at the beginning of 2026, so Happy New Year. We're taping here officially on December 17th. And another 2 community episode here in Season 12 of City Spotlight, and we're back at a familiar spot here in Segment 1. Back talking Neoga Schools at the Neoga Schools district offices, and we welcome back to the program once again the Superintendent of Neoga Schools, Kevin Haarman. Kevin, always a treat.
Thanks for having us on again today.
Appreciate it. Glad to have Kevin back on. Second time this year as we tape here near the end of the first semester, fall semester here at Neoga Schools. And we last taped with Kevin about 9 months ago or so. It was March. It was an online segment that we taped with Kevin outside there. Right after the tornadoes that hit Neoga and this area back in March. Kevin, I recall that taping out there, and appreciate your time back then during those troubled times. I know you did a lot of media interviews back then. We're not going to focus too much on what was then. Nonetheless, kudos to your staff and you for forging on back then. During those times, you kept the education going.
Yeah, very, very impressed with our staff, our community, going through those tough times. Just unbelievable effort, monumental effort in getting our kids back into school. Basically losing just 2 school days. We took 2 active God days. We were back in within, I think, 12 actual days. Wow. And just monumental effort and commitment, dedication from our staff and our community. So very blessed to get those kiddos back in school so quickly to finish out those last 9 weeks of school. So,
thank you for that comment there to reflect a little bit on what transpired 9 months ago. And as I pulled up today to the main parking lot here between your offices and the high school, I see an empty parking lot, and there's for obviously good reason. So I wrote my question. I haven't been to Neoga in a little bit, so it looks like you were obviously still utilizing what you were forced to utilize 9 months ago, the old Neoga Elementary School, which is now the community center. Yep. So you are still utilizing.
We are still utilizing that. Our high school students are over there. A couple of changes that we did have from the last 9 weeks to now is we were able to utilize a couple more classrooms. So we worked with the city and freed up a little bit more classroom space. Additionally, we added a ag modular shop, so to serve as an ag shop for our ag students. We've got a very vibrant ag program.
Yes.
We had 2 shops, a metal shop and a metal fabrication shop and a wood shop that were destroyed during the tornado. We have a nice classroom over there for the ag students, but we needed a hands-on workshop. So we've added that over the summertime.
When you say modular, so you had to build some little additions.
So actually it comes from a company. Okay. It's shipped to us in I think this one was probably 3 or 4 different pieces, then it's put together. So it's got a large open classroom space, and then it has smaller classrooms on the side of it. So it's one space. The students do have to walk outside to get to it. But that's going to serve as a nice space for us, and it has served as a nice space for us to do hands-on learning with our ag students.
All right, so the junior, senior high students are over there.
Well, the high school students, high school only, so 9 through 12 is over there.
Okay.
And so what we did for our junior high students is, if you remember, we actually had the last nine weeks, we had to double them up or put them in the elementary school. Just here on our campus. We've been able to alleviate that pressure that we had at the last 9 weeks, and we have a 6 classroom modular unit with the same square footage footprint as our junior high. That's where our junior high students are now, and that's been placed on our elementary parking lot. So our junior high students 6 through 8 are housed in that 6 classroom modular unit. Again, several pieces put together, and it serves as just one big unit.
I have not been inside, to go back to the community center, which was the former Neoga Elementary School. I have not been inside that facility, I don't think. But I guess it hadn't been in its new capacity, the community center, too long that you didn't really have to do a whole lot to make it a school again.
No, there wasn't a whole lot we had to do. We did a few security upgrades to update with the times, and there's been some HVAC systems that we've had to service. So not a lot has had to be done in that area. So very blessed to have that. Very blessed that our city partners were agreeable in allowing us to use that space, and I posted this. Basically, the rent on it's been $1, and then we pay for all the upgrades and utilities. So, what a deal that we've had. I'm very blessed to be able to work with our city that closely and have that space for our kids.
Good to keep some of those older buildings alive.
Yeah.
You never know when you might need them.
Absolutely.
To this degree.
Yeah.
All right. Probably halfway done through our interview. Wish we had more time. We could talk. Let's quickly catch up to speed with our audience at home. What's left to do and fix? As we pulled up to the parking lot, see some roof work being done. Don't need you to retract back all the way to 9 months ago, but what's left to fix?
Well, a lot. So let's start with the smaller project that's left would be on the elementary school.
Sure.
So there's about a $1.5 million outside what they would call construction envelope that's left to do, and we're really just at this point now, and we're in December, waiting for the winter to get over with, to break, and that will consist of our front entrance, which there's some significant lead times on some of those specialty type items that we've had to wait on. That will get addressed as soon as better weather hits.
Right.
And then the roof itself is going to get, even though we replaced it a year and a half ago, in order to secure the full warranty back again, they're going to take the membrane back off and put a new membrane on.
Warranties are a little tricky.
Yeah, they are tricky. And then there's some, if you look at the west wall of the gymnasium, there's some exterior work, metal work that's still got to get done too. And then metal flashing all the way around. So about $1.3 million is roughly where we're at on that. And then the big one is the junior, senior high school. We're probably somewhere in the $20 million range of destruction and damages when you include code upgrades. So that building's built in 1978, so there's a lot of code upgrades that we have to do to it that will add to that project. So been a significant amount of selective demolition that's occurred. The exterior structure itself is not getting torn down. It's in good shape. It's survived very well the devastation, but most everything from the roof down will be replaced at this point. So slow process. When you look at it from the exterior, it doesn't look like a lot's being done, but there's probably been already about $3.5 million worth of work done already in the interior. And that's mainly just selective demo and then other types of structural upgrades and such. So what will be left then will be likely new roofing, HVAC systems, and then flooring, paint, I mean, lighting,
and
ceiling,
and
lights.
much of those things that you are having to do now and fix, you had pretty much just done as you gave me that grand tour. I just shook my head when I heard what had happened, because I was out of town when the tornado hit.
Yeah.
I just shook my head and went, "Wow, Kevin just took me through this building, all the new stuff," and it's like, what a wow. So
we had about 7 months in some spaces, so that's pretty disheartening. But there's nothing you can do about Mother Nature.
Right.
The positive, as I said many times before, is nobody was hurt. Nobody was in the building when it happened.
That's very true.
So that's the most important thing.
It is.
We can rebuild buildings.
People are people, and building are buildings.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
Very good. In our last couple of minutes, Kevin, appreciate your time here. Shout out to the local communities that are helping you out during these tough times. We are in the winter months as we tape here in the middle of December. And for your athletic teams that play in the winter times, they play indoors.
Yeah.
That obviously is a challenge this year because, as you told me before taping, and people have probably seen through Facebook posts and whatnot, you lost the ability to play in all of your gyms. But Mattoon has stepped up in a way, singling out Mattoon, but you have 2 locations in Mattoon that are helping you out, Emerald Acres and Lakeland College.
Yeah, so we were blessed before the tornado to have 3 gyms operational. So very, very blessed to have that. With the tornado hitting, we went down from 3 to 1. So our elementary gym, we were able to make the repairs on the interior. So we are using it, but we're in a time period right now where we got 4 teams vying for 1 gym space. So practices and so on. So Mike Taylor, our athletic director, has done a phenomenal job of leveraging.
Can only imagine the scheduling he's dealing with.
Leveraging our community partners up at Emerald Acres. We hosted Mary Sir, our shootout up there. We have hosted several junior high and fresh soft type games up there as well. And then of course Lakeland Colleges came through in a big way, and we're hosting varsity boys and girls basketball.
You've already just started hosting games there here recently.
We've hosted, probably about 4 to 5 girls basketball games already up there, and then we just hosted our Mega Night homecoming.
And I know you want to be hosting these games on your home court, but to be able to play at a community college venue, that's a great field house.
It's been phenomenal. The kudos to Mike Taylor, Jennifer Bridges. Homecoming was fantastic. I know you always want it to be in your home gym, but it was up there, and they did a great job of coordinating that with Lakeland College and our athletic director up there, and we're blessed to have Lakeland as a partner and so close to us. It was just a great homecoming experience for our kids. Of course, they're never going to forget the times of the tornado and being displaced, but they're certainly not going to forget playing some of their ball games in Lakeland College. So it's going to be a great experience for them.
And the location of Neoga puts you in a proximity where you were able to have a little bit of help during these tough times.
Yes.
So Kevin, as we wrap up here in our taping here, I want to thank Kevin for all the times, all your predecessors, Dr. Pressler back to season 1 10 years ago, and Bill Fritcher. Obviously, I remember the interview taping with you guys after the trophy for the girls basketball team a few years back. Probably our final time here on City Spotlight. It's been an absolute joy taping all the times in Neoga, not just Neoga Schools, but Neoga Days. Had a blast taping with the Jack Finney feature, which I was all over the place. I ran into you, I think, at a track meet in Shelbyville. Just been a great time taping in Neoga all these times. And when you tape a program like this over 10 years, you see from that first interview with Dr. Pressler, when Neoga Schools were in a far different situation at that time to now. Your thoughts on the community and the school district moving forward?
Well, so when we had our emergency board meeting right after the tornado, one of the things that I told our community was we went through some tough times when Dr. Pressler was here financially. We rose from that, and we were stronger because of it. And that's exactly what I told our community, was we were going to do the same thing from this. And we are. There's been a lot of good that's came from this. A lot of community support, a lot of coming together. We've had such great support from our community. That's going to continue. So definitely blessed to see that. And as I said, we're going to be stronger as a result of this. And so we do appreciate you taping us through all those times, the goods, and sometimes the not so goods. But again, we just thank you for doing all that.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's what we're told to do. We need to cover our local communities, and we have some great ones. One of those is Neoga. So Kevin Haarman, Superintendent of Neoga Schools. Kevin, It's been an absolute pleasure, sir, and
Pleasure.
best of luck to you and the community and Neoga Schools moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll head a little down south to another community, Teutopolis, and talk with Teutopolis Mayor Dave Repking on the latest going on in T-Town. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in the communities of Neoga and Teutopolis. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this latest two-community episode. We, as promised, have made the short trek from Neoga down south to Teutopolis. We're back here at Village Hall as we again tape here in the latter part of December 17th. Folks at home seeing this for the first time at the beginning of 2026. So again, Happy New Year to everyone in advance as you see this episode. And to help us out in this episode, we are pleased to welcome back to the program the Village President, Mayor of Teutopolis, Dave Repking. Dave, treat to have you on once again.
It's fun to be here. You do a good job, and we thank you for it. We appreciate it.
Well, that's very kind words of you to say, sir, and glad to have you on again. I think 3 times maybe on. I lost
I believe
count.
so, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We're a little bit forward. There's a meeting later tonight. It's like, let's not disrupt all the beautiful minutes they have here. So it's same spot. It's a great room, and still found a way to get the Seymour building behind you on your shots. So, all right, very good. We're taping here right before the Christmas holiday, and let's recap T-Town in 2025 here with Dave. And Dave, we're going to start with Public Works, the guts of the community. What are some highlights from Public Works in Teutopolis?
Well, I'm going to start off with our subdivision. It is now full.
All right.
50 some lots. We are looking at possibly doing another one. We don't know. We've got a committee working, checking to see if it's going to work or not for the village. But the other one is full. Things are going good. We just finished up the sidewalk project through there, so there's sidewalks running through it, and everything is done as far as that goes.
And that's Prairie View.
Prairie View subdivision, yes.
Right. Congratulations.
Sorry about that. No.
Congratulations on it being full.
Oh yeah, it's. I wasn't mayor when it started, but it took off and it went very well.
You're sitting there and seeing it through to it being complete.
Okay.
All right, very good.
That's good.
Very good. And sidewalks, that's great too.
Yeah, we got the sidewalks there. We did a sidewalk rehabilitation program. We went through and took some extra money we had to finish and fix up some spots that were broken up, a couple of smaller road improvements. We finalized our grant through Congressman Boss' office. We are going to take care of the last cast iron water lines this coming year, but we got the plans and that all in. The engineering's done, been approved, and we're working with EPA to get that finished up. So we'll have all plastic throughout the village after that.
Wonderful. That is a big time improvement. I was going to ask about roads, sidewalks, water, sewer. You started with the housing, and that's very important to hear. To secure that kind of level of security for your water, that's a big step for the village.
It is. We do not produce the vast majority of our water. We have to purchase it. We are on a contract right now with the city of Newton. As the village has grown, our population is up, and we just cannot produce enough out of our wells to handle it, so we buy it. But it's good quality water.
All right, another aspect of Public Works, any notable road work, street work in town in 2025?
We did put a new roadway in, tore it out, and replaced it on Oak Street, which is on the east side of the grade school. We now have a pickup lane that went in there, stop signs, markings. It makes it a lot safer.
Safety.
We had cars parking on the highway trying to get into the road. Now with the road widened and the pickup lane, it's taken a lot of that traffic off. It's made it a lot safer out there and safer for the kids,
So
which is the main
that's
thing.
Oak Street. That's over there by the grade school, as you
East
mentioned.
side of the grade school,
near
yes.
near the new subdivision.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Any other areas of Public Works for 2025 you want to highlight, or anything moving forward that you'd like to share?
I think that's about it on what we did in 2025. We're still working on our Safe Pathways to School grant to get from the new subdivision to the grade school. We've run into a few hiccups with IDOT and the railroad, but we're getting those worked out. So it's taken us a little longer than what we thought, but we will get there. We'll get it done.
I think this is probably timely because we're taping in this part of the year, and we've had some crazy pre-winter weather here before it's officially winter in December. I just wanted to ask, how is the village able, with your Public Works Department, able to handle and go through some of this crazy winter-ish weather we've had the first part of December?
Our guys are very good. Carl Powell's our foreman, gives a call. Scott comes in, Chris comes in, Tyler comes in, and within hours they've got them all cleaned off. They do a couple of the sidewalks to make sure they can get to the post office, and they do a very good job of it.
You started with talking about the Prairie View subdivision. It's full, and you said something about possibility of maybe another one moving forward. I think it's been talked about on this program, maybe with you, or maybe it's just been water cooler talk. I've talked with other community leaders. When you're a smaller community like Teutopolis and maybe you have limited land, how challenging is that to try and, can we fit a subdivision here or there?
It is. We try to develop a TIF district for that area. That way we can use the funds to help pay for the infrastructure and everything else that goes with it. But you've got to get the cooperation of the school district and the park district and Lakeland College, and it affects all them. I mean, it's quite a few years before they get tax revenue for that. So it's a bit of a sacrifice for them, but in the long run, it comes out very well for them.
All right, sounds like we've covered all things Public Works 2025 into 26. Let's shift over to businesses, Dave. You have a lot of diversity of businesses here in Teutopolis, a lot of them very noticeable along Route 40 as you go from one side of town to the other. Tell us about the 2025 businesses, any new ones or updates to current ones?
Well, we've got a couple of new restaurants in town. One of them just opened up, Los Arcos. It's a Mexican restaurant, opened up about 4 months ago. We have one around the corner here that they're still working on, hope to be open by January, called Siegfried's. It's going to be a steakhouse.
Hey.
And then the Brickbat Alley changed hands. We have a gentleman that has a couple other restaurants. He's coming in, doing more restaurant than what he is bar. And so we're looking forward to that. It'll be nice to have 4 nice restaurants in town to eat at.
Everything you just listed there is food, water,
Right.
and beverage related. Talk about a community, you're not just getting one, that's several of that one kind of business in town.
The people here do tend to support their businesses very, very well. And the businesses in turn support different charities, school events, whatever. I mean, it's a good community to live in.
And still, we're here 2025 into 2026, and people are looking to establish businesses in T-Town.
Yes, we've got a new retail establishment that just opened up. Jareen and Joe's, they're gifts and accessories for the ladies. We have a Paulsley Pet Grooming that just opened up within a couple weeks ago down the street here. So
Yes.
they're going to do maybe some dog sitting. We've got to change our ordinance to allow that, but we're looking at that. So
I know the last time that we had taped a few years back, and I forgot to mention, last time we taped with Dave was at the beginning of 2024, so long overdue on that. A lot of the businesses that we talked about last time were obviously on the way out of town as you go toward
Yes.
Effingham, more of your industrial. How is that area going?
it's still full. Everybody's still open and doing well. So we're very pleased with that.
And
One thing I wanted to mention too,
Yes.
Seamers here is doubling the size, I believe it is, of their flour mill. It's a multi-million-dollar project, so we're looking at some infrastructure needs that they're going to need. We'll try to work out with our engineer and IDOT on some of those. So.
You mentioned Seamers there. You might be able to see it over Dave's shoulder, maybe not, but very noticeable business when you drive through Teutopolis, right across from the village hall here. When we did the Teutopolis, This Is Our Story program, we learned about Seamers and the history and the family business. Talk about what they provide for the village. Obviously, it's a large business. It has a particular niche of business for what they do, but what they provide for the community as far as financials and growth, because it is a pretty large business.
They are, and they employ a lot of people, all local people. They buy a lot of wheat from the local farmers every year. You can see the trucks lined up getting in. I mean, they've changed things on their parking lot to get those trucks off the road, which has helped traffic through town a lot. So they're a very, very vital business in our community. They're just got a new president.
Okay.
Rick Seymour has stepped aside as president, and his son Henry has taken over.
Very good.
So that'll be a
Keeping
it'll
it
be a
in,
plus. Yes,
keeping it in the family.
Keeping it in the family, but get some younger blood. Not that Rick's always been a very, very
Right.
pro-Teutopolis person.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that on a very long-standing business here in Teutopolis. Anything else that we've missed, Dave, from Public Works to Economic Development that you'd like to share moving into 2026?
Well, we still had a very, very successful cruise night in June.
Yes.
The Knights of Columbus put on a big cruise night, a car show, and this year they raised, I believe it was over I want to say well over 10,000. It may have been more than that.
Really?
Yes, that they raised. Our Teutopolis for Tomorrow has a garage band night again. It was very successful this year. They got rained out on their golf cart movie night.
That's unfortunate.
But we'll have that next year again. So.
All right. Dave, as we wrap up our episode here with you, unfortunately I have to say this is probably our last time taping with you, and I've really enjoyed all of our visits down to T-Town here, especially here on WEIU, whether it's sitting down with you or again the Teutopolis. This is our story program that we did in 2021. Still one of those wow programs in my book. To be honest here with some people, when I was purchasing some furniture in Ashmore, Illinois, and they saw who I was employed with and said, hey, you're working on this one program here on Ashmore, Oakland, Kansas. I said, well, we're also producing one on Teutopolis right now. I was like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, we got like 30-some stories. How in the world do you have 30-some stories on T-Town? It's like, I still can't believe it. And wow, we have learned so much about the community, and what a unique community you have.
It is.
And we're very proud to have covered it.
One thing I forgot to mention, we started this last year. We had a Christmas in the Village where we hired a Santa Claus to come in. We did it entirely on donations that we got that night, and some organizations helped us out with food and things. This year, it was a lot bigger, a lot nicer, and the community, again, supported us well, not only with donations, but with the crowd. We had a line up for Santa for about an hour and 45 minutes. It was a 2-hour thing, and it was started at 6, and by 7:45 it was starting to thin out just a little bit, but it got nothing but praise and thanks from a lot of people. So it was a nice evening.
And selfishly, I could say I'm going to be here a little bit after this taping here on my basketball journeys doing radio. I'll be back in T-Town, and boy, wow, what the eyeballs of Central Illinois and Illinois come down to see T-Town basketball. What a great thing you guys have there with that long-standing tradition.
Well, Coach Lori Thompson just reached her 500th victory the other night, and she followed in the footsteps of Dennis Custer, who also had 500.
Yes.
Dennis was a friend of mine, and it's sad to see him go, but she does a good job. And the boys' team is out to a great start, too. So.
All right, we've been talking all things Teutopolis here with Village President Dave Repking. Dave, it's been a pleasure taping with you all these times on this program, and I wish nothing but the best for you and the community of T-Town here into 2026 and beyond.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'd love doing them.
All right, thank you so much. And that'll do it for our first City Spotlight episode of 2026. Stay tuned for more episodes as we close the books on the program here later this year. Thanks for watching City Spotlight.
City Spotlight on WEIU TV is underwritten by the Illinois Arts Council, a state agency